Hey guys, what's up? I'm CaptainTurbo. Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VI. We are in Kefka's tower. Things look a little bit different from the end of the last part. Essentially, I realized I kind of fucked up with what I was supposed to do in terms of getting Team Blonde towards the locked door a little bit later on. So, you know, a couple save states here and there and all that. And, you know, I essentially got the... realized what it was I was supposed to be doing. But I kind of just decided to edit it out because, number one, there was nothing really worth recording. There was only random battles. I'd taken all the dragons, so there wasn't anything there. I think I opened up all the chests as well on screen, well, on the previous recording, so I didn't have even any of that to show. So yeah, I just decided to edit around that a little bit, and we're here now. We're getting very close to the last part now. Yeah, I'm gonna spoil it, guys. There are 61 parts. This is part 59, and the last part is, well, to be honest, I actually wanted to do 60 parts, but the last part was like 40 minutes long because the final boss took quite a while. So I kind of couldn't really do anything about that. Yeah, that's where the dragon was. One of the dragons were earlier. These things are actually pretty fucking annoying. I'm just showing them on screen because I'm not going to bother fighting them. I would not fight these guys with anything but Team Blonde. These guys made me game over. And why? Because how the fuck do I miss the bin that's about 3 feet in front of me? How? How? Fucking throw like a fucking child. Anyway, yeah, those enemies, I will not have any desire to fight those with anything but Team Blonde. But anyway, we're back here that you saw in an earlier part. We get these two teams on these platforms here. That will open the door. And after that, you want to use your third team, which is usually the first one you use, which is, for me, is Team Blonde. And with them, we will go for the place in a moment. We've got a random encounter first. I'm showing this off here because I don't know if you saw it, but there are multiple enemies in the same on the same sprite spot. You know, you can't see it. It looks like there's only one enemy there, but there's actually 3. You can see there, they're kind of merged together for some reason. I think this was just like a programming glitch or something. I'm not sure, but it looks really fucking weird. No, that's the only reason I left that one in, to be honest. Earning some decent experience, but we don't really need it at this point. I've got the pinwheel. Head through the doors. Well, I would if random encounters stopped, but I do edit it out, as I said. Heading through the door. This also took me some time because I completely forgot what I was supposed to do. Edited around it though. Standing on that. Now I do this thinking I'm supposed to get the other 2 in there like that, but nope. What you're going to do here is actually use one of the left or right ones. It doesn't really matter which, you just go for both of them. Oh, apparently I'm not supposed to do that. Oh yeah, I remember now. Above both Sion and Umara, there's a 40-ton weight that you're supposed to push off the ledge, or 4-ton weight. 4-ton weight, not a 40-ton weight. Drop that onto the switches. It will open up the doorways there, and then you can use the party members to get in these specific locations. Alright, do the same thing on this side as well. New enemy here, the Innocent. Yeah, really clever name. Instant kill there, that was really lucky, I believe, on my part. And yeah, you just want to do the same thing again. I'm going to use Sion's team to push the other 4-ton weight off the ledge so Umara's team can get into the middle of the room earlier. That we're currently in this one. Now, another little puzzle here. The reason it took me so long to figure out is because, well, it didn't really go well for me. You know what to say though, these guys really don't represent much of a threat. They shouldn't, at least at this point anyway. You know, they can confuse you. They've got a couple of decent attacks, but nothing that should be threatening to your entire team. Even if they come in pairs of, even if they come in groups of 3. Not gain the level, great. Just gonna heal up my team here. And I need to get my throat in good condition because I've got to do a little bit of voice acting in the next part for my favourite character to voice act in this one. And yeah, if the other team are standing actually on the switch, they'll tell you to move out the way. Alright, now I'll take Team Umaru. We can stand on this plate now. Pretty simple. What you gotta do here is get these two teams on these two plates as well. I keep thinking of all of them as like pressure plate type of thing, so... Alright, now a whole lot to say. We've got another boss now. We've got a pretty difficult boss as well. Not the most difficult though. No, that one's coming up in a bit. But this thing did take a couple of attempts. So I died to the boss, but unfortunately I forgot to press record until about halfway through the rematch. Sorry about that. Yeah. So yeah, I died once or twice. I think it was once actually. This was the rematch. As I said, I was about halfway through. I looked up into the corner and realized I hadn't correctly pressed the record button. I must have just missed it. So you missed some of the match here, but my advice, if I can remember here, is I think this thing is weak to one of the magics. I think it's fire. I'm not sure. It also has some pretty strong attacks, like the mech stuff, if I remember correctly. It's going to be a war of attrition, especially since I'm using my weakest team as well. It's why I died so many times. Yep, they're going to use high potions as well. Thankfully it only does about 250. But you will use more than one, unfortunately. Alright, Magitech Barrier. Yeah, this thing is, as I said, just pretty much a very high-tech Magitech. Yeah, I probably should have thought more, as I mentioned earlier, I probably should have put a bit more thought into what teams I should take and spread out my big guns a little bit more, because coming here with this team was very, very stress-inducing. You know, Mog may have the Moogle charm, but unfortunately you still gotta take on bosses, so... And as I said, this was not the hardest boss. I wouldn't say the final boss was the hardest either. I'll bring up which boss I found the hardest a little bit later. I got Fundora. Make sure you have, I believe at this point, and you can see there the Guardian is beaten. At this point I think the Guardian had Reflect placed on him, so if I'd have used Reflect on him, obviously it would have bounced off. So what you want to do with that, I think I've mentioned this before, is use Reflect on one of the party members that's got Reflect already up. Or sorry, use the magical attack on a member that's already got Reflect up. So it'll bounce off them and go straight towards the enemy. Even if they've got Reflect up, it only bounces once. It's not like a fucking tennis match where it bounces back and forth. But yeah, using the tent there to heal up my party. Saving as well. Yeah, well, we're really getting close to the end here, guys. But like I said, the final boss takes a while, and I've still got another 2 bosses before that. So yeah, I kind of go back here because I think I can go up these steps. Didn't actually see them moving though until I came back in. All right, another boss. The demon. Wow, this was a thing. This thing was a pain. And again, this was still not the hardest boss. Alright, first of all, I just kind of went with what I could. I wanted to see what this thing was weak to. I actually think I got this on my first try, actually. It was either my first or my second attempt. I think it was my first. So let's see what thing this is weak to. Level 67. 58,000 health points, quite a lot of MP, and is weak against poison. But it does absorb fire. And Blaster took Umara out in one go. And here's the first time I tried Grand Delta myself. And it does a crap ton of damage. I was actually amazed by how much damage that did when I was doing this. And it comes in very, very helpful for the final boss. So yeah, I now have a pretty strong magic attack here. Unfortunately, it does cost a lot of MP to cast. It's definitely one of the more costly attacks in the game. I got Faraga going. Thankfully, it actually heals up Umara, so got nothing to worry about there. Using all the aura, so we can get a little bit of. I forget, is this the one that regens or? No, it's the one that casts things like Protect and stuff. I actually really like how Grand Delta looks as well, it's really cool. Yep, let's throw the old geezer into the demon. Really good idea. And this, apart from Blaster, it doesn't really seem to have much in terms of strong attacks. You know, it's doing a decent amount of damage to my party here and there, but you know, for one of the main statues, it's not doing a whole lot. I still have quite a bit more to do yet. You can see weak against poison, but we're down to about 42,000 now. Grand Delta keeps doing roughly between 4,000 to 5,000, so you know, a good about 8 of those would work pretty well. Maybe even 7 actually. So this again is pretty much just a war of attrition. He's got a couple of hard hitting moves, but nothing that's going to wipe out my entire party, I don't believe. You know, Blaster will, I think, one-hit KO one party member, so we really don't have a whole lot to worry about. And it looks like I was actually wrong. This isn't one of the harder bosses. I do know which one is the hardest I found, but I'll get to that one when we get to it. Again, because my party is so different in variety, you know, one move that's killing or doing a lot of damage to a character is healing another, so I'm never really in too much danger. It's just a mission of, not a mission, sorry, it's just a matter of not being able to deal out much damage myself. I'll get Carbuncle going so we can get a little bit of regen for each move. And usually, so there's 64 MP to cast Grand Delta. I think it's worth it, but Jesus Christ, that's a lot of MP. Ferraga going again. Unfortunately, that will heal up the character a little bit. I do like the demon's design though. I think it's really, really cool. It's like a Yu-Gi-Oh monster or something. You know, both Umara and Strago are managing to pull off quite a bit of damage now. We got Meteor. This is a pain in the ass. Thankfully, it didn't actually. So he does. It looks like he does have at least one hard-hitting move. Thankfully, all my characters managed to survive it. As you can see, we are more than halfway there now, though. And everyone is at least getting a little bit of health back. Yeah, as you can see, if Umara hits alone, he doesn't do a lot of damage, roughly between 150 to 400 I found. If he actually throws an enemy, a party member at the enemy though, he does upwards to 3,000 to 4,000. Well, anywhere between 25 to 4,000 I should say. Getting an elixir going because I didn't want to die here. Umara seems to be my best bet. And I've also just given him back all his MP as well, so I can perform quite a few grand deltas now. And if my math's any good, he should be roughly around 1,500 now, if I remember. Got the wave cannon going as well. This will actually heal up Mog. Yep. Unfortunately, Realms took another hit. Healing Umara there. I think I actually was casting regen on Umara. I'm going into, what am I doing here? Looks like I'm leaving Realm down for the count. I think the only reason I wanted to keep her alive was just in case I needed to use a Phoenix down on one of the two mains in this group. Which is the only reason that I think I actually don't bother here, is because Mog, as you saw there, can do a decent amount of damage with spells, but it's not really as much as the Umara and the Strago does. And you can see that we've already beaten him, so it's not a lot to really worry about now. Yeah, that's one of the 3 statues, I believe, that we saw Kefka move in an earlier part. Strago learned haste, and Mog learned a new dance. So we've taken out one of the statues anyway, but that does leave 2 to go. So let's heal up both Realm and Mog. And let's get Cure going. And save point. Definitely a good idea to save, because that's pretty much the end of this section of the game anyway. At least for Umara. I'm standing on a pressure plate here. I shouldn't actually be doing it though. I should be taking him somewhere else. I believe I cut away there because I did something I wasn't meant to. I switched between characters when I wasn't supposed to. So right now I'm pretty confused about where it is I'm supposed to go. As you can see, I'm here with these two. I'm actually supposed to go back out here and stand on this pressure plate, and this will create 2 new doors out here. Another random encounter. A new enemy, a Gamma. Yeah, these things will fuck your shit up, because they did for me. I pretty much just run from them. I'm just showing it off because it's there. Again, I would not go against this guy without... as you can see, that's why. I would not go against this guy without my main team. So, yeah, that's why I kind of ran from that. Alright, here we go. Oh, I would have said that if we hadn't a random encounter. Second statue. Cut away there because of the many defeats. Here we go. I'm rearranging my party's lineup. Oh god, this was painful. This was very fucking painful. And you'll see why in a few minutes. I believe this was the hardest. I think this is the one that was the hardest in the game. The hardest boss, I should say, in the game. The goddess. Holy fuck, this was difficult. This bitch has an attack that will basically cast doom on your entire party. Now, I was a bit of an idiot because I was trying to use things like Arise and stuff. It didn't work. For some reason, if you've got doom cast on you, it won't work. So, my advice here is if you can, knock out one of the characters as soon as she casts doom on everyone. You know, knock out one of your party yourself. Use Phoenix Down or revive or Arise or something on that party member, because this is what I end up doing. And he won't have doom when he's arisen. Everyone else will, but you'll still have at least one character you can use to revive everyone else. Otherwise, you're gonna be fucking screwed. Because I tried everything here. I tried using relics that prevented instant death. And other things. In fact, you don't actually get instant death. What happens is you get zombification. So you're gonna all your characters will still be alive, but you're gonna be fucking screwed because none of them can attack because they're all zombified. Even the relics don't actually do anything to prevent this. So I had to be an hour on this boss, not an hour, probably about 40 minutes. Trying to figure out, actually might have been an hour, trying to figure out a decent strategy. And I got pretty lucky here because she was using that what do you call it, that is this the, yeah, this is the attack, Cloudy Heaven. She used Cloudy Heaven every time I started a every time I ended up what's the word I'm looking for? Every time I started the match, she'd use that straight away, so I would get hit with this. And it also counts down really fucking quickly as well. And that would be the end of me. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't beat her that quickly. I didn't have any strong enough characters to beat her that quickly. With Team Blonde, I might have been able to do this fairly fast because they were all pretty hard hitters who could hit for like 1500 if I was lucky. Not 1500, sorry, 5000. So I got fucking royally screwed. I'll try that again. And yeah, I'm guessing this was one of the fuck up. I'm just showing, I think, why this was such a difficult boss for me. Couldn't really figure out what I was doing. And is it just me, or is the woman standing on top of the head look a bit like... You know what, she reminds me a little bit of Yuna from Final Fantasy X. I like a cross between Yuna and Renoa. I don't know, that's what I get. But yeah, this is why this boss is a pain in the ass. Because I'm going to have a completely zombified team. The party has fallen. Oh, it was 6 attempts later. So yeah, she also has an attack where she'll have one of your party take all the damage for her. Now this doesn't mean that you can't attack her with that party member, but all the others, if you use physical attacks, will take the brunt of the damage. Locke is currently being used to take all the damage. He can still dish out, but he will take damage from the other 3 party members if they attack physically. And I currently have him attack. I currently have that relic that means you can hit 4 times attached to lock, because, you know, I'm doing roughly about 1,000 to 1,500 damage, so I'm doing a good 5,000, around roughly about 5,000 damage every time I use lock here. But even with that, you know, I didn't equip that on the 6th attempt, but even with that I had a hard time beating this boss, again because of this Cloudy Heaven. Fucking Cloudy Heaven can go die. Alright, and as you can see here, I'm finally utilizing the idea I mentioned earlier. I'm gonna have Locke knocked out because he's currently the lowest on health anyway. So it just makes more sense. Plus, he's the one that's currently in control, being controlled by the goddess, so it was actually a smart move anyway. Alright, now, Locke is pretty much done for. He is still in the match though, because technically being zombified doesn't take you out unless all the party has been hit with zombification. What you want here is a holy water. And I actually just got that in time as well, because the others have been taken out of the fight now. You have no idea how fucking overjoyed I was when I did that. And that was really fucking... that was a really clinch victory there. But we did obtain Excalibur. And the second of the 3 statues are dead. And holy fuck, that was difficult. Even watching that back, I feel all the pain it took me. We've got roughly 20 seconds left, guys. I'm going to leave that off here. Hope you enjoyed this, and damn, that was a fucking annoying boss fight. See you next time when we will meet up with the final boss, but it won't be the final part. But until then, have a good night, guys.